Welcome back, familiar to NorthsideLDN, and today we've got the headline: Zubamendi option is Joao Neves. It looks like Arsenal are looking at Joao Neves as a plan B instead of getting Zubamendi. It looks like the Zubamendi deal is off the table, and it looks like Arsenal are looking at Joao Neves as the next best option. It says here Arsenal now want to sign Neves as Zubamendi prefers to stay in Spain. Let's go with the headline, and then you guys can hear. I'll get into what I think about Joao Neves, as I am also a Benfica fan. For anyone that doesn't know, that's my family club, Benfica, in Portugal. Let's go through the article, and then we'll get into everything. Joao Neves looking like a plan B if we're unable to get Zubamendi. Arsenal have identified Benfica wonder kid Joao Neves as an alternative to Real Sociedad midfielder Martin Zubamendi. The Gunners are in the market for a new defensive midfielder and have constantly been linked with Zubamendi, who is hugely admired by manager Mikel Arteta. The Spaniard currently has a release clause of £51 million in his contract, but he has shown no desire to consider a move away from his boyhood club. Zubamendi is reportedly the priority midfield target for the Gunners, but the 25-year-old prefers to continue in Spain next season. The London Giants have identified Neves as their alternative, but the club are aware that Benfica won't enter negotiations for a transfer fee lower than £85 million. Neves would be a statement signing for Arsenal. The 19-year-old has a brilliant full campaign with Benfica last term. He completed 90% of his passes and had long ball accuracy of around 70%. He was also superb defensively with an average of 6 duels and 2 tackles, 1 per appearance. The Portuguese, who has been described as an excellent player by Bruno Fernandes, would be a much better acquisition than Zubamendi for the Gunners. Zubamendi is vastly experienced compared to Neves, but the latter has immense potential and fits into the club's playing style. A deal would be more expensive, but Benfica will likely accept a long-term payment plan, unlike Sociedad, who want the entire transfer fee up front. Zubamendi has shown no intention of leaving his boyhood club. Arsenal would be better off stepping up their pursuits of Neves. What a load of bucaria. What a load of rubbish. What a load of rubbish. In what world is Joao Neves anywhere near ready to start in the Premier League? Now, many Arsenal fans, unless you're Portuguese, you don't watch the Portuguese league. I do. This kid is not worth 85 mil. He's not even worth 40 mil at this current time. I'd say he's worth around 20 to 30 mil. He is raw. He's a raw talent. Yes, he's got some talent. Yeah, and his strengths is not even the same as Zubamendi. As much as I know, Zubamendi plays as a DM. Joao Neves is not a DM. Joao Neves is a box-to-box midfielder. That is what he is. He's a creative midfielder, and that is where you get the best out of him. Going forward, looking for intricate passes and trying to create chances for the front three. He's not the type of player that's going to sit behind the back line and shield the back line. Benfica actually had a problem this season in having a player that can shield the back line of Antonio Silva, Otamendi, Tar, and the rest of them. So at the end of the day, he was unable to do that job. Which is why Benfica defensively looked very open this season, because Florentino Luis isn't good enough. They tried to get Joao Neves to do that job, to sit in deep and protect the back line. It didn't work. It worked miserably. That's not his strongest attributes. So if we're going to go and get Joao Neves, he's a player that's inconsistent. He's a player that, even in the Portuguese league, I don't think he's anywhere near the development stage of Renato Sanches or Joao Felix or even a Darwin Núñez. And these players left Benfica, and with hindsight, you look back and you think they left a bit too early, and they failed. And I don't think that Joao Neves leaving Portugal right now is the right move for him. I don't think it's the right move for Arsenal. £85 million is what's touted for Benfica to even open conversations about letting Joao Neves go. The thing is, Benfica market their player excellently. You got to give it to them. They market their players excellently. Yeah, a lot of talent comes out of Benfica, but at the same time, there's a lot of players that have been leaving recently that have not hit the ceilings that they should have hit because they're leaving too early. And Benfica, because of the fact that the league isn't the strongest in the world, it's probably what, sixth strongest league in Europe. They need to make their money some way, somehow. And a lot of times, the club doesn't have the best interest of the player. Now, as an Arsenal fan, this would be a horrendous signing. You can get Paulinho for less money than Joao Neves, and he instantly gives you better performances. You can get Bruno Guimarães for the same amount of money, and you get instantly a much better player, a player with more experience, and is able to actually play week in, week out. With Joao Neves, you're buying potential. And we're not at a stage that we should be buying potential. We need players that are able to perform now. If Partey's leaving and we're bringing through Joao Neves to be that replacement, I don't even think they're the same profile of player. Partey's actually solid defensively. Joao Neves is not. Partey is a great passer of the ball. Joao Neves is decent. He has glimpses where he's very good. But ultimately, he's not offering you the same of what Partey's offering you, which is why I'd prefer Bruno Guimarães. I just don't understand. Whoever's honestly, Benfica at A1 are overgassing their players. I can't even lie. Because whoever's put this £85 million price tag to £100 million price tag on a youngster that has not been amazing this season. He hasn't been terrible. But then again, he's been decent in a Benfica team that's been trash all season. The only other player that's played well is the goalkeeper and Di Maria. You know, it's not hard to be the best player right now at Benfica at this current moment because the team is trash at the moment. You know, Joao Neves, yes, he's had some good performances, but nowhere near the level of demanding £85 million, 30 odd million pounds max. You know, and for what we need to get to the next level of winning major honours, Joao Neves is just not that guy. He hasn't got the experience. He still has a lot to work on. Sometimes his positioning is woeful. Sometimes he leaves the team exposed. Tracking back. A lot of times he's tracking back because of his positioning, because he doesn't help out defensively as much as he should. He gets beat off the ball a lot. Yeah, everything to do with his game defensively is poor. It's poor. It's just not his game. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of Granit Xhaka. That he's a player that he wants to be released to go forward and influence the game going forward. He's not a player that wants to be chained back with having to get back into position and you know, help defensively and shield the back line. He's just not that kind of player. I just don't understand. This is a load of rubbish, man. This is an absolute load of rubbish. If Arsenal go in for Joao Neves, what a joke. What a joke. I've seen Man United being linked to Joao Neves. I've seen them being linked to Joao Neves and, you know, looking at the player and considering a move. More power to them because they're about to waste a load of money because a lot of times these players leave Portugal, like Renato Sanchez, like Joao Felix. If they leave too early, if they leave to the wrong club that doesn't play a play style that's suited to them, which I actually think Joao Neves does play, the way he plays is suited to Arsenal. He likes to play expansive football. He likes to go forward. He likes to express himself. He likes to, he likes to attack. I do think he suits Arsenal. I just think the move could come too early, and that could hinder his development. Because let's keep it real. When I watch the Portuguese league, it's a lot slower than the Premier League. It's not so physical. The centre backs aren't as physical and as fast. It's not so intensive. It's more about skill, technical ability, passing. It's more about that. It's not about pace and power and that kind of thing. And that's where I can see him getting bullied in the Premier League. I can see this kid getting absolutely bullied in the Premier League, if I'll be completely real. I don't think he'll survive very long in the Premier League if he leaves right now. Benfica look like they need to do a load of signings. If they do, I don't even see Joao Neves being the starting 11. You know, if we get the signings in if Benfica get the signings in that they need to get to strengthen after coming second last season to Sporting, I don't think Joao Neves is automatically a starter at Benfica. And if he's not an automatic starter at Benfica, why is he going to Arsenal? Because I'll tell you what, if he comes in at 85 million to 100 million, you know he's got to start. With that kind of price tag, he has to start. We paid less for Zinchenko, and when he came in, he had to start. So I just don't understand where, you know, a lot of these people overhype these players. They never seen them in their life. And this is the problem in the transfer window. There's a lot of players getting gassed and people are like, yeah, it sounds good. Joao Neves, it sounds good. Sounds good where? This guy is nowhere near ready. Nowhere near ready. Nowhere near ready. Nowhere near. And the thing is it's too much about his game that I can see him costing Arsenal points in his first 2 seasons. Losing the ball easy, getting barged off the ball, not getting back, not helping out defensively. You know what I mean? Nah, man, nah. Does he have talent? Yes, he does have talent. Yes, he does have talent. Going forward, he has talent. You know what I mean? If we're going to get him and play him as a 6, it makes more sense. I think that's his best position as a 6. I don't see it. I mean, sorry, as an 8. Not as a 6, as an 8. If you play him as a 6, nah, I don't think it'll work. If you play him as an 8, I think it will work. But not yet. Not yet. You're not going to get the quality that you think you're going to get from an £85 million player. And it's actually pretty sad. It's pretty sad that, you know, Benfica only think these days about lining their pockets and not what's the best interest of the player. I hope his agent and his family are looking out for him and saying, listen, don't get overhyped with all these links to go into this club and that club and this club. The best thing for this kid's career, the best thing for his career is staying in Portugal and developing. Look at what's happened look at how Darwin Núñez has struggled. Look at how Joao Felix's career is falling off a cliff. Look at Renato Sanchez, how highly he was sought after. Look at him right now. Do you know what I'm saying? Just that any guy in Ligue 1 now, like the wrong move will just completely deter your career. You know, so he needs to look at the pathway of somebody like Mbappe that was in Spain for a number of years and is now leaving Spain at 25 years old. Won multiple league titles, did it with France, and now he's ready for the move. So listen, hopefully he's got the right people advising him, because the people that was advising Renato Sanchez, Joao Felix clearly didn't know his best interest and didn't understand the development of young players and how it takes time for them to develop. And once they go abroad for a big signing and they underachieve, all of a sudden, your value slashed in half. So it is what it is, man. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. Would you take Joao Neves at Arsenal? Do you think he's a good replacement or plan B option over Zubamendi? Let me know what you guys think. Hit the bell notification. Without further ado, familia, I'm out. Love.